Hi, Ryan Hansen here, President with Bon Voyage Travel, and we're excited with our partner coming on today to talk more in depth about one of our favorite partnerships in all of travel, and that is Tauck Tours. But my great friend and leader of the global sales and customer experience for the Tauck brand is Steve Spivak. Steve, thanks for joining us, my friend. You've tied in some really focused departures that are now more demographic related. And I'll start just by we won't dive into this one because it's been in existence for 20 years. The Tauck Bridges program. You innovated on the idea that multi-generational family travel was important. And all of the touches that Tauck delivers on should be available to a family that wants to travel with their children and grandchildren. It shouldn't be exclusive just to grandpa and grandma. That's not the Tauck way. You've expanded once again, and a brand new product that is going to be outlaid and delivered into 2026 is called Roam. You're setting up a whole new way of traveling for a different traveler that maybe you haven't catered to. Describe the Roam product and what that's all about.
Sure. And this is really our first foray into travel for a distinctly new generation of travelers. And look, it's no secret that our core product broadly appeals to an active, affluent retiree. Um, People who tend to be more in the phase of life where they're thinking of how am I going to spend my golden years to reward myself for all the hard work that I did while I was still working, right? Well, people who are still working and more in that phase of life where they might have kids at home, they might have just become empty nesters or have kids at college. They're still working, but they want to travel well when they have the opportunity to travel. Um, those people now are looking for exactly what Tauck offers, but in a new and exciting way. So we created Roam for people in their 40s and 50s who want to travel well. They want all those things that Tauck is known for, the exclusive access, the incredible guide, the wonderful hotels, the great value, but they want to do it in a way that's less programmed. We refer to it as half on and half off. So Rome was created for that active Gen X traveler who's still in that life stage where they're likely working. But when they have the time to travel, they want to travel well, and they want it to be perfect. And so we created Rome with that guest in mind.
As we dive more into this Rome concept, it sounds like it's really more about a travel mindset, but it really still is catered to people that are in the same life stages that they can, and that's part of your community conversation. So when I've looked at the itineraries and the pace and the activities on the Rome offerings, I do see, like you said, more free time. I do see different levels of activities that might be a little bit more active in nature for a traveler that is more interested or willing to do, a little bit higher level of activity. Can you walk us through kind of a day in the life of a Rome journey? What does that feel like?
Sure. Well, so Ryan, I feel like I'm talking about us, right? Like
Thank you.
we are the target audience for Rome. And a typical day when we're on vacation is exactly what Rome's for. We may want to sleep in one day, right? We don't get a chance to sleep in very often. And when we're on vacation, maybe we want a little bit later start to the morning. So later mornings in a hotel that has the resort amenities, the spa amenities, is really unique to the destination that we're in. Uh, you wake up, sort of leisurely start to the day, then maybe you have a choice of activities for the day. Maybe in San Miguel de Allende, You have a choice of visiting the artists' enclaves and seeing the local artisans at work. Or if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, it's an ATV tour, right? So choice is a very important element of Rome. And then in the afternoon, we're going to go to the market. We're going to go on a market walk with a chef, and we're going to select ingredients from the market, and then we're going to do a Mexican cooking class. And then we're all going to eat together. And then maybe in the afternoon, it's more time at the resort to hit the spa or the pool or to play golf. And then in the evening, we're going to do a dine around at a selection of restaurants that I can dine where I want with who I want. But then maybe in the evening, we're all going to meet back up on a rooftop bar to have a cocktail making class together, right? So that might be a typical day on a Rome experience. Now, there might be another day where we're all going from Mexico City to San Miguel de Allende, but on the way, we're going to do a hot air balloon ride over the Aztec temple roof,
As one does, right?
as
As
one
one does.
does, right? So on that day, we're all going to do the same thing together. Um, but it's a mixture of time on your own to sort of for self-discovery, because that's still important to us. You know, part of the joy I get from travel is discovering the destination for myself. But I also want those exclusive experiences. I want that insider access that I couldn't get on myself by myself. So it's a mixture of that insider access with self-discovery, that expert guide there to make sure I am exactly where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. Um, and I'm enjoying it with a very small group of like-minded travelers who are sharing in a very similar life stage to what I'm experiencing. So if you go back to 1925, Ryan, you know, in that first newspaper ad in the Newark Evening News, Arthur Tauck said, "We shall be one congenial party, along for a great time. I want no grouches or pessimists." And here we are with Rome, right? All these years later, and what we're creating is a congenial party out for a good time, um, with a little bit more time for self-discovery, time to relax, time to recharge, so that when we go back to the everyday, when we go back to work, when we go back to the kids, we feel restored, right? We feel restored. And I think the Tauck difference in Rome is will be apparent in the very same ways that it's apparent in everything else we do. You'll leave your worries at home. You'll get what you pay for and then some. You'll be traveling in good company, and you will not settle for ordinary.